Selamlar, and welcome back to the Ottoman campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. So, I'm pretty sure I started a naval invasion of Bangladesh. But we don't need this much tonnage here. I think I only need like 50,000 tons to invade it. So, I'm gonna take most of this task force and send it here to, well, not most of the task force, but I'm gonna take the armored cruisers, the destroyers, and a couple of the battleships, the two Isa Celebis. They're gonna go here and fight these cruisers. Now, we are close to getting modern battleship hulls, which means that Dreadnought 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 will become obsolete hulls. I already have ships built on 4 and 5, but not 6, 7, 8. So we're gonna design some ships before we start fighting. Alright, let's see what we got. 5, I've built ships on. The recent Waterloff class. Dreadnought 6. Not like a super exciting hull. How about 7? We can make it pretty big though. How about 8? That's more like a super dreadnought. Modernized dreadnoughts 1 and 2 are not on the list of ships to go obsolete. You can make this really big. This one looks identical enough to 5. Yeah, it's 5, just bigger. Modernized Dreadnought 2 looks identical enough to 8. Again, just bigger and better. Actually, worse hull form, but better floatability, better resistance. So we're not going to bother with 8 or 7, which is also the same hull model. 7 is better than 8 in many ways, it seems. But 6, this one is kind of unique. So we're going to build something on this. Gizeller class. What kind of towers do we have? It's still mostly like early Dreadnought towers. But I guess with a refit, they can be given like more modern refit towers. Got a bunch of funnels available. This one has damage control. Let's put that there, and then a large funnel there. Looks about right. 4 funnel, a little bit taller. I don't mind that. 24 knots we can make this. The modernized ones are capable of 25. Let's stick to 21. That's the speed of my other dreadnoughts. Alright, for guns, what we got? Got Mark IIs all the way up to 19. 13 Mark IVs are kind of ugly. I'm gonna go with 17s actually. They're gonna be Mark III pretty soon. They're pretty big guns, though, for a 35,000 ton battleship. Just slightly bigger than 16s. Maybe I should go 16s. Actually, they're already Mark III. Can I fit you on this step here and save myself from having to get a barbette for you? "16-inch ABXY layout." Let's see, we got a big big gap now between X and Y turrets. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Let's see, there's go away. Do you nah, you probably don't fit on that. That's gonna be too small. You do fit on that. It just looks dumb. What's the, like, flattest barbette I can get that is big enough to fit a turret like that? Probably just gotta be this one. Are you centered? Yeah, you are. And then I want to have some kind of secondary complex between here. Just so I have something between there. It's just a little bit reminiscent of the Congo class. Just because I like that vibe where there's a gap between the X and Y turret for some reason. What can we put here? 7-inch quad? Yeah, sure. It would be nice if I could have this like match the angle of that. I mean, kind of. It almost matches. I couldn't get it closer because of the collision, but it kind of works. Not even ruining the arc of fire for that turret too much. But there we go. Decent rear-facing secondary battery. In case destroyers try to pursue. We've got 12 7-inch guns. All capable of firing directly aft. Not too bad. Turbo electric, bringing down that maintenance cost. Balanced, bringing it down even further. Because I am using turbo electric, which has all of these bonuses, I think I can get by with only auxiliary engine 1. And dropping down the range to a still pretty good 21,000 kilometers. Let's see what else we can do here. We are, yeah. We're starting off with a bunch of armor already, so that's good. We can actually, we can probably reduce that. Let's go increased HE on the secondaries. Tube powder 2. Let's see, will we get enough safety with TNT 4? Yes. TNT 3 is a bit safer still. I want to have increased ammunition. 0.8. Not bad. 5.1 is a little bit bad. 3.9 is not bad. Stereoscopic 5. RDF. Let's not worry about the deck armor. The Citadel belt armor, that's going to be equal to 42 inches. We don't need that kind of protection. That's going to be equal to 30. That is plenty enough. There we go. Could probably just make that 0.1 also. I want to slightly up the main belt. Just so I don't take a lot of partial penetrations. Although, partial pens are not that bad. We can actually reduce the main belt and count on the Citadel to actually do the heavy lifting here. I might still have to reduce some of this stuff though. Maybe. Because I might also want to fit some more secondaries here, and I might also want to make these 55s. I'm pretty sure those two turn freely. X turret also turns freely. Nice. It's important to check. Make those 55s as well. This one doesn't have the greatest arcs of fire to the side, but I couldn't place these further forward. It looks like there would be space, but there wasn't. Turrets need a bit more side armor. Yeah, we're not that much overweight. Let's turn this down as well. We're not... Ah, yeah, the conning tower. I almost forgot once again. Luckily, that one doesn't add too much weight. We're kind of light on the 4 nat belts. But, yeah, I would like to not take battleship HE penetrations. Add combat ranges. Because those just end up doing a whole lot of damage. Yeah, a bit overweight. Yeah, not bad. I can probably move this in a little bit. We're gonna have that second to last bulkhead not completely protected by the main belt anyway, so that is fine. You still turn? Yes. There we go, getting closer. Getting much closer still. Do I need increased ammunition? I mean, probably not. It's not that necessary anymore. Because I've got multiple task forces. So I won't need the same one task force to keep engaging the enemy several turns in a row, as was the case early campaign. I mean, it fits if I put it like all the way out here. Now we're overweight. We can make these doubles. Now we're still overweight. But not by that much. So this can be fixed. Somehow, I assume. Let's see. Oh, that's heavier. That is much heavier. Yeah, Electro Hydro actually the lightest. Is auxiliary 4 lighter than 1? I know in many ships it ends up being lighter than 3. No, on this one it's actually heavier than 3. No, that did not make up the difference. It's not a bad looking ship though. All in all. This is the Rear Tower 9. We can go with one that is... I don't need to save that much weight. We can go with one that is quite a bit lighter. That doesn't fit the funnel I wanted. So we'll have to go with the... next one up. But that's still gonna be a little bit lighter. That still doesn't fit. I have to like make a bigger gap in between here. Yeah, that fits. That saves a bit of weight. Or like other than the tops of these turrets, no real places to put a bunch of 2-inch guns. It's like yeah, I have to use casemates. I will not use those casemates. Gizeller is a battleship. Like fairly normal build. Except maybe for all the rear-facing secondaries. We can have that be the thumbnail. I know some people probably won't like that, but I think it's neat. Yeah, let's go fight the British some more. Now, do I want to build it right now? That's gonna be 70,000 tons for 2 of them. I can. I can get away with that. But it would probably be better if I just held off a couple of months until these ships are finished. Just so I don't delve too far into the deficit. Alright, let's see what kind of battles we get. And if I remember to actually launch that naval invasion. I think I did. Got these ones right. Just making sure. These are the ones I have active. Yeah, there we go. Again, just making sure. And we should actually be able to take northeast frontier from them with the army. And then later on, we can just send one ship or so to take Burma. Shouldn't take much. No battle? China. And Germany also. Fighting the Dutch. Do the Dutch have anything worth fighting? I'm not losing a lot of transports. But Britain is. Where are you sending that battleship, Britain? Up here, to fight me. This cruiser too, so we're gonna get a fight next turn then, probably. 100% here. Although my army is... yeah, they're gonna take it, but I'm gonna take it with the Navy next turn, so... Yeah. Now, what's happening to your army force numbers there, Britain? I think they withdrew from the fight. It just didn't happen. Yeah, plenty of tonnage here. Let's just do one of Burma as well, since I'm here already. And we're closing in on a fight with France. That is as planned. Was it Burma I said? I already forgot. Burma, yes. There we go. You don't require much, do you? You don't require much at all. Let's send out these destroyers to handle it, and they can be joined by the 2 new battle cruisers once they're finished. Just sending out these destroyers here. You saw me try to design them. I did eventually build them now that I had the technology to make them work. They ended up very expensive, as you can see, 170 million. And at a quite hefty maintenance cost, so I don't think these are going to be for mass production. Yeah, both battlecruisers are finished. Last 2 heavy cruisers are coming in 2 months. Wait, did the invasion of Northern Ireland fail? One of them did. Yeah, it did. But how? Yeah, we're gonna just quickly relaunch that instead. And then just do Burma later on, I guess. I was pretty sure that was 100% chance to succeed, but I guess the game had other plans. Now let's see if we get a fight. We get 2 fights. And China doesn't like me. First off, a light cruiser, high flyer class. That's one of the ones with no torpedoes. Let's just put the new Janissary class battle cruisers to the test. Just send everything else home. Okay, we are being spotted. I just realized that these old Yavuz class battlecruisers still have Mark II guns. So they are in need of a refit. Almost 24 knot top speed, cruising speed. That's not bad. Quite attractive looking ships, I think. Even if I had to get a little bit creative with the funnel placement here. There you are again. Gotta dodge. There we go, first hit, main belt pen. Not really scoring that many hits. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of minuses from other guns' splashes. Not quite at the stage yet where I have enough tech to just eliminate that modifier completely. Let's just turn off the secondaries. I think they're doing more harm than good. I think stereoscopic 5 would be a good fit for these ships. There we go. Sank. At least in vanilla, I know I prefer coincidence over stereoscopic, but there's been a bit of a rebalancing done in the Dreadnought improvement project. I don't know exactly what that actually includes. But I know they have supposedly buffed the stereoscopic ones. Here we go. Big fight. High flyers. So we don't have to worry about torpedoes from the light cruisers. That's a relief. We do have to worry about torpedoes from the Carnarvon-class heavy cruisers. But they only have 5 of those. So we should be able to manage. Yeah, heavy cruisers are a threat. Light cruisers are just to be ignored until the heavy cruisers are sunk. Which, that's a pretty good cruiser for only 200 million. Decent main gun firepower and very scary torpedo armament. Alright. Let's just have the cruisers follow the battleships. You're gonna have to slow down and let the others pass you. And let's see what kind of damage we can do with the long-range torpedoes. I have to manually guide these in behind the battleship so they don't just end up doing circles. They're being spotted. See, there you go. There you go. You're just falling out of line because you're dumb. You were straight behind it where you needed to be. Fine, you're not following the battleships. You're just sailing parallel then. Almost in torpedo range. These ships have taken some damage before. From someone that they've been fighting. Possibly the Soviets. Because they were there intercepting a Soviet invasion. You are all in my torpedo range now. I just want to turn my destroyer line so that all the torpedoes arrive more or less at the same time, so they don't just start dodging the first volley that arrives and then the last one gets their way later after they've already changed course. Now. Like so. And you two will have to just continue on your course so that the enemy doesn't change theirs. Well, that's a bit dangerous, but the greatest danger is to the enemy cruisers, hopefully. Suffolk takes one. Blake takes two. Suffolk takes another. Andromeda is going to take a few. I think the light cruisers will take some as well. Yeah, there we go, getting some on the light cruisers. So we got some of these heavy cruisers already basically out of the fight. And that's good. Now I just need to make sure my battleships don't target their harmless light cruisers. So if I need to, I can just send my heavy cruisers in to deal with them at maybe even point blank range after the enemy heavy cruisers are sunk. Because these are the only really dangerous ships the Brits have in this force. Europa. If you want to follow that destroyer, you can follow it towards my battleships. And no, the A turret seems to work. I remembered to check it this time. Because in the shipyard, it did look like the A turret would not be able to traverse. Because this deck here is too narrow. Like, it was giving me a full green circle when I placed it, but when trying to manually rotate it, I got like the red border error. Sometimes that means your guns or torpedoes won't work. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It's nice to be consistent. Okay, both of those heavy cruisers are sunk. Let's go on to Blake and Suffolk. While we are waiting for Europa to get closer. It'd be nice to sink those. There we go. Not quite enough to kill them yet. Yeah, they got that third inner belt. It still says main belt over pen. Main belt partial pen. know that can be an overpen on the main belt, but sometimes the game is kind of weird like that. Feta, you can target Europa, which is coming closer. I thought it was coming closer. It's in range now. Barely. Barbaros Hayreddin is hitting the Suffolk. Mainly overpenning the extended belts. Which are quite thin. There we go, full pens on the aft belt after loading HE. Cruisers are coming along for the ride, they're just not really doing much. There goes, I'm flooding on Europa. Dropping that target's fast speed modifier. Bristol goes down. Keep focusing Europa. Got torpedoes again. Europa sinks due to heavy flooding. What was yeah, that was Barbaros Hayreddin with the HE shells. It says one of those was a main belt pen. I don't see that being the case, but sure enough. Let's see here. You launched all your torps. You're now launching all of yours. Now dash 16. Gonna follow those torps closer. We're gonna see where we need to add more torpedoes. They turn the entire line. Make the secondaries do some work here. Might get one torpedo head here on Philomel. Maybe not. Yeah, we did. Maybe you want to load AT2. Taking very minor damage. Bit of a brawl going on. Actually, both switch to auto. Third score sinks. Defiance sinks. Bring in the cruisers. Kind of forgot about them. Brisbane is gonna sink. Philomel probably also gonna sink. Hyacinth definitely going down. Main guns, secondaries. Boom. Huge hits. Slamming into Crown Colony. And there we go. That was the British cruiser force dealt with. No losses, some damage to my destroyers. My battleships took a lot of hits, but nothing that really damaged them. Yeah. That is very, very minor damage. Barely scratching the paint. Feta and Barbaros Hayreddin. Nice. And that is a decent payout in victory points. Almost 200,000. And with that, are we gonna see a reduction in the British Army logistics? We're taking Eritrea. That should be a win. I don't know why it wasn't. Now we're gonna start the invasion of Burma. There we go. Could probably do that with one single destroyer. Let's see what to do with this force. Probably just gonna send them home to Constantinople for now. At least the battleships. The battle cruisers and the yeah, no, the battle cruisers. I wanted them to be in was it Central Atlantic? They need some repairs, but not major. Yeah. Then they can hurt British shipping here. Nice. Yeah, you're not going anywhere with that invasion. Or no, this one maybe. Trying to take back Afghanistan from Kashmir. Our army logistics is still at 100%. You got that battleship here. And 3 heavy cruisers and a destroyer there. Okay, maybe this force, before going back to Constantinople, maybe they have to deal with some more of your ships. But that fight will have to be next time. And then we're also going to see whether or not the French join the war. Let's see, where are we? Here, minus 65. Yeah, they're probably not too happy with me. They're going to be joining, they're going to be going to war with the Soviet Union pretty soon. And because they are friendly, that means our relations are going to sour further. I can probably bump this up just a smidge. Growing by 1% a month. That's expensive though. That's expensive though. Gonna turn down this a bit further, but we're soon done building the port. And we have very soon commissioned some very expensive ships that are costing me quite a bit. So, yeah, and we got enough money. We can take the deficit hit for quite a while. Goodbye, and take care.